Daniel Goleman's book, Optimal,
Mm.
came out in 2023, and he was especially excited about it because he was getting the opportunity to report on decades of longitudinal research that, when it started, hoped there was a direct link between emotional intelligence and high performance. And boy, was there.
Oh, good.
The more you leverage emotional intelligence, the more productive and engaged we are. We're more likely to advance in our careers. If we're in sales, we have more success. We make more money, even in careers like IT or engineering, where people might think EI is less important. It's a huge predictor of success. We're considered more trustworthy. We're more satisfied with our work and life if we're using EI. We're more helpful to others. He also reported we're less likely to be a jerk.
Mm.
And wildly, we're more likely to have better overall health because using EI is linked to managing stress effectively. And then also with AI, EI
Yeah.
is our differentiator, right? It's our level up. So AI might write our reports, but it can't believe in our teams. It
Mhm.
can't actually bring wisdom to a situation. Using EI, emotional intelligence, can do that. Welcome to the Behaviorist with Work Wisdom. I'm your host today, Sarah Colantonio. Today, we're focusing our attention on emotionally intelligent teams, and we're so grateful to have Abby Rivera, the
Hi.
principal at Wickersham Elementary in Lancaster, with me again.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back.
Always, always. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure. So, last time we talked about authentic leadership,
Mhm.
and so today we want to talk a little bit more about focusing on emotionally intelligent
Mhm.
teams. And, you know, you and I, we've talked a lot about emotional intelligence
Yes.
and what it is. And, we always talk about the four things, right? The
Mhm.
way we see and express ourselves,
Mhm.
the way we build and maintain relationships, how we
Mhm.
handle stress,
Mhm.
and then how we solve problems and make decisions using emotional information or
Mhm.
data without getting derailed by the
Yes.
emotional data.
Mhm.
And whenever I recite that, those components, I always think about the pie, like our day,
Mhm.
and how much of our day is committed to those aspects of emotional intelligence. Like,
Yes, very
it's
much so.
all about our
Mhm.
expression, and it's all about our relationships. It's all about how we're handling stress and
Mhm.
making decisions and solving problems. Um, and then, the EI, or the IQ part, the
Yep.
cognitive intelligence part, it's in there.
It
It's
is.
really
It
important.
is.
Um, but in comparison, like the slice is, it's got to
Mm.
be so skinny compared
Mm.
to all of that. I know in education it's important to have brilliant minds, of course. But when you think about your own journey with leading and in education,
Mhm.
how much have you had to rely on your emotional intelligence to succeed, like to get through really tough times? Like how,
How do you have to rely on it?
yeah,
I think I rely on it more often than not,
yeah,
and I think it's one of those things where you have to have the ability to read people
yeah,
and, like, know what the vibe is.
yeah,
What is going on, okay? What do you sense? Are
yeah,
you and then be able to articulate that and then just really listen,
yeah,
and that comes with
hmm,
trusting people,
yeah,
okay? So, when you listen to somebody, you have to be able to trust them as well, right? And they have to trust you, and you have to trust them
yeah,
because you're gonna have to respond to whatever it is that they're
yeah,
telling you. And so I think we rely on it more often than not. I always tell everybody that my job is to solve problems.
yeah,
Okay. I solve problems all day long.
yeah,
Whether that's a coverage, whether that is a student related issue, whether somebody's having a personal issue at work and they
hmm,
need to come talk to somebody.
hmm,
I'm always solving
yeah,
problems all day long, which isn't a bad thing. People, I think when you say you're a problem solver, people say it's a bad
oh
thing,
yeah,
okay?
yeah,
But it's really not. It's
yeah,
helping people either A, understand what could be possible,
hmm,
okay, or solving something that is really hard
yeah,
and getting different perspectives on that.
yeah.
And you have to be able to listen and trust those around you.
Yeah, when I think about the role of the principal,
Yeah.
you have to rely on it.
You
Like,
have to,
it's
I don't
your
have a choice.
every minute of every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are times, like, when I first became an administrator, like, and my frustrations were there with
Mhm.
whatever the situation
Yeah.
might be. Maybe I had a really hard conversation with a caregiver. Maybe I was really excited about a lesson I was going to go observe, and it really was not what I thought it was gonna be. Or
Mhm.
I have a really challenging, situation with students. I and my frustration sometimes got the better of me, and I would
Yeah.
have to, like, be like, "Okay, so now as the
Yeah.
principal, okay,
Yeah.
I will take that moment, I will
Yeah.
breathe, I will say,
Yeah.
'Please give me a second.'" My secretary is amazing, she will notice when it's happening and comes in and just shuts the door,
Okay.
okay, and I have this wonderful, amazing picture of me in the 2nd grade because that's when I knew I wanted to be an educator,
Yeah.
that's in my window, and so, like, people can't see if I'm in there, which is also great, okay, so but she, like, no, she'll be like, "Nope, we're shutting the door,"
Okay.
because you have to be able to recognize
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
oh, I touched my mic too. Sorry, Hunter. Um, you have to be able to recognize
Yeah.
your own feelings,
Yeah.
right? And your own emotions and be
Yeah.
able to regulate them yourself.
Yeah.
And so that has come over time.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's
Yeah.
not something I learned like that. That
Yeah.
has come with always trying to be self-aware.
Yeah. So the balance of reading the room, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing yourself, that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of it. Okay,
Yes.
so that's been a big predictor of your success. I'm really curious about, we're talking about emotionally intelligent teams.
Mm-hmm.
How do you gauge emotional intelligence with your staff? Like, how do you talk about it?
Um, well, I think a lot of it comes down to that listening piece and that
Yeah, okay.
trusting, okay, and making yourself vulnerable. But I will attribute a lot of our success to what we've done with the ruler program. Okay.
Okay.
So the ruler program is, and I don't want to call it a program. It's the ruler approach. Okay. I
Okay.
will say it's the ruler approach.
Yeah.
And it's through the Yale Institute, or the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, Yale
Okay.
University. And we have done so much work with that. So it's understanding just emotions in general, being
Mhm.
able to recognize it, being able to understand it, being able to label what it is,
Okay.
express it, and then regulate yourself.
Mhm.
And we do a lot of work as a staff, and we do a lot of work with students.
Okay.
And so there's like a staff component, okay?
Mhm.
And it's like, how do we want to feel as a staff?
Mhm.
How do we want to treat each other? How do they want me to work with them? How do we want to work with
Mhm.
students? And then the students do it themselves. So a lot of our emotional intelligence as a staff comes from that approach
Okay.
and our ability to embrace it.
Yeah.
But as a human being, right? I will sense a room and I will make myself vulnerable. And
Mhm.
because of the previous podcast, I
Yeah.
fully believe in
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
fully believe in vulnerability because if you don't, people aren't going to take you seriously in a
Mhm.
way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm always be like, I do not know the answer to this. Okay, but I will find out. Or I'm really sorry that this happened or this came
Mhm.
across this way. Or you want to know what? This is challenging for us right
Mhm.
now, but we're not gonna let it define us, right?
Optimism.
We got the optimism. We are not gonna let this define us, okay?
Yeah.
We are going to take it as, okay, it's a challenge, but let's be
Yeah.
proactive about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that is part of it as well.
Mhm.
And then just calling a spade. Like
Yeah.
this is how it is.
Yeah. Do you feel like there are particular emotional intelligence skills that are really important to have at Wickersham? Like, in your building, you're like, "You gotta." I mean, it's
Self-awareness.
yeah, okay. That's
Self-awareness.
the big one. Yeah.
Big, huge one. You and I really do attribute a lot of what we do to that approach, like that
Yeah.
ruler approach. Like
Yeah.
it's to be self-aware,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so like, and it's funny. I just had a conversation with my supervisor like 2 days ago, and I kept being like, I know this is how I feel, okay, but like I like talked through it with her. I was
Yeah.
like, I know I'm frustrated,
Yeah.
but it's not the feeling I have. I'm feeling the frustration, but that's not the emotion I wanna
Yeah.
say. I'm not saying I'm frustrated because that's not I know I feel it. That's
Yeah.
the feeling I have, but it's not the emotion I wanna put with it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so the emotion I put with it was, like, feeling hopeless, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, yes, I'm frustrated, then I'm hopeless.
Yeah.
And so being able to, like, talk through that and
Mhm.
understand your own feeling, being able to, like, label that and then express it, and then be able to then be like, "Okay, I feel this way, and I feel hopeless, but how can I now move forward
Yeah,
and put
what's
things in place to
yeah,
do that? And my
yeah.
staff is very self-aware.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that is the number one piece that you have to have
Yeah,
is to be self-aware.
yeah, and then everything else kind of
Mm-hmm.
follows.
Follows and
Okay,
suit.
okay. So I also wanted to share with you, we like to nerd out on
Oh, yay.
research. So I've got Optimal by
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Goleman, but then more recently, Vanessa Druska wrote The Emotionally Intelligent Team,
I'm gonna
and
buy it.
it's so good.
I'm gonna buy it, and then I also would like to buy it for my husband because he's a nerdy, organizational theory, behavioral guy.
Okay,
So, like,
okay,
I'm gonna buy it for him too.
okay. We didn't know this was going to turn into like a whole thing, but
Mhm.
also Goleman mentions Druskett, and
Oh,
so
they're like
anyway,
friends.
yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah,
that's
it's so
fun.
exciting. Anyway, so she did decades of experience with emotionally intelligent teams.
Mhm.
Anyway, I made a printout
Ooh.
for you, and what she found is that emotionally intelligent teams, they have these characteristics, they have these habits
Mhm.
that are pretty common, and it's beautiful because then we know, okay,
Yeah.
so this is decades, and she realized, okay, what are the things, what are the characteristics? So the one thing, and going over this, it made me think of you. I was like, "Ah, I want to interview Abby. um, so the first thing that was common among these emotionally intelligent teams, they understood each other,
Mhm.
and in kind of all the ways. It's not even like being best friends
No.
necessarily, but it's like your secretary being like, "I'm gonna shut the door."
Shutting the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Um, Secondly, demonstrate caring.
Mhm.
Third, uh, addressing unacceptable behavior.
Mhm.
So that's got to happen. Reviewing the team. She talked about they it's part of self-awareness, but it's doing the how did we do? How did we get through this thing? How did this
Mhm.
project go? How did this um policy change
Mhm.
go? Like how did the transition go? Um it and and she talks about they did it on a variety of levels, but they were able to have those hard conversations like, yeah, we didn't maybe manage that. What are
Mhm.
we gonna do going forward? Um, Support expression was also common.
Mhm.
She talked a lot about Amy Edmondson and psychological safety, and specifically that supporting expression looked like that, that people could be vulnerable,
Mhm.
they could ask for help,
Mhm.
and they were willing to be part of that. But also in supporting expression, she talks a little bit about like, uh it's almost like having a symbol for your team or for your organization. I know at
Yeah.
Wickersham, it's like,
What a Wildcats.
yeah, yeah, Wildcat, that's right, yeah.
Everything is Wildcat focused,
Yes,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of part of it too.
Yeah.
Um, and then building optimism was common.
Okay.
Um, that made me think of you for sure.
Oh, thank you.
And also solving problems proactively. So in some organizations, having the ability to be to think about things before being strategic enough to think
Mhm.
about things before they're just like coming at them.
The plan for the plan.
The plan for the
You know that's
plan.
my thing, the plan for the plan.
So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about these. First of
Yeah.
all, I'm curious what your favorites are here. What are looking at these, what feel most important for your team?
So okay, so I did a little activity with this,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Okay, I did an activity with this because when I think of the team that when I'm looking at this, so I have a leadership team and then I've got grade level teams and I have my staff, my teachers, and
Mm,
I have building assistants and I've got paras. So I was thinking about this with two members of my leadership team and I wanted to see if what they thought
yeah.
was the same thing I thought,
Okay.
and they did.
Whoa,
Isn't
okay.
that weird?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
amazing.
So
Okay.
I used my instructional coach and I used my dean of students and I asked both of them,
Okay.
"Okay, what do you think?" And our answers were very similar, which was not surprising
Okay.
yet ironic because we have different perspectives on different situations. Yes,
Yeah.
I think with a principal hat, he thinks with an instructional coach hat, he thinks with a dean of students hat, okay? But they all were the same, okay?
I just wanna ask you for listeners who aren't in education,
Mhm.
is it what is the not to derail you, but
Yeah, you're
what's the
fine.
difference between those 3, like,
So
responsibilities?
I am the building leader, so I'm responsible for all things in the building,
Yeah,
instructional leadership, systems, climate and
yeah,
culture. I am the top of the umbrella. Well,
yeah,
this is how I organize it. I'll
yeah,
say that. I'm
yeah,
the top of the umbrella. Instructional coach is the academic liaison.
got it.
Okay. So
Okay,
the instructional coach works with teachers. They work with me. They work with district coordinators. They are curriculum focused,
okay,
educational strategies. They are the coach. Okay.
got it.
The dean of students is the climate and culture of the building.
Okay,
Okay. So they are the person who handles student discipline,
okay,
your PBIS initiatives, all MTSS type things, things that are there to benefit students. But then also my dean does a lot of great work with staff culture as well,
okay,
okay?
so the people
The
part,
people part, yeah,
got
people
it.
part. And so we all think very differently,
Yeah,
okay? And we all have very different perspectives, but we all think understanding the team members,
yeah,
demonstrating care, and solving problems proactively
okay,
are the three like crux
okay,
of what makes highly functional, emotionally intelligent teams.
okay,
Those three pieces, which makes sense.
mhm,
Okay. I think
tell me more.
Okay, so I think understanding your team, despite what the team is, whether it's your whole staff, whether
Mhm,
it's your student team, whether it's your leadership team,
mhm,
you have to understand who everybody is as a person first.
yeah,
Okay. So, yes, I'm Mrs. Rivera. I'm the principal, but I'm also Abby.
right,
Okay. And everybody knows certain things about me that make me who I am.
mhm,
Yes, I'm the principal, but that's not all of who I am.
mhm,
I'm
yeah.
also a mom. I'm a really good cook. I'm an avid Eagles fan. Okay. Everybody knows these things about
Right,
me, right? That makes me who I am.
yeah,
And so as we know people as people first,
yeah,
right? And understand who they are and they're coming from different perspectives and
yeah,
different lives.
mhm,
Okay. And it's even I think about the way the 3 of us were raised. Okay, 2 of us
yeah,
were raised by single parents. One
really,
lived in this, like, great, wonderful life, okay? Like,
wow,
in so it's just different. You have different
yeah,
perspectives, but we all believe that understanding your team
mhm,
is number 1
yeah,
and demonstrating that care.
yeah,
That comes with the listening piece. Let me
mhm,
listen to you,
yeah,
okay? Let me let and listening builds trust,
yeah,
right?
100%,
But when I'm listening to you, I'm really listening to you. I'm not listening to you to cut you off. I'm listening to you to understand, okay, this is where I'm coming from.
yeah,
What's what's next?
yeah,
Okay, what do you need?
yeah,
Okay, what's next? But it's all aspects.
mhm,
It's not just what's happening in school. Like I've had staff come to me and just talk to me about personal things that are going on and seeking personal advice. Hey, Abby, I know that you have had this happen to you before because I am vulnerable and I tell my staff, okay?
mhm.
So they know that I'll give an example, my divorce. Okay. They
Yeah,
know I'm divorced.
yeah,
Okay. So if something is going on where they're, something personal or they know something personal is going on with somebody, they'll come to me to seek the advice. And
mhm,
I'm okay with that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But it's that listening piece.
yeah,
But when you're listening, you're also showing that compassion, that
mhm,
empathy,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And then the last part is solving problems proactively.
yeah.
Everybody knows that I hate chaos. Okay. I despise chaos. Like it is like I get like
Yeah,
heart palpitations. I'm not an anxious person, but it gives me extreme anxiety
yeah,
when there's chaos.
yeah.
That's why I always say I have a plan for the plan.
Yeah,
And I think 4 steps ahead,
yeah,
right? And so it's funny, I was on the phone this morning with, my supervisor, and she was like, "I know you think 3 steps ahead," which I
yeah,
do because I always
yeah,
have to,
yeah,
but it's being proactive and not reactive.
mhm,
If you're sensing something that is going to happen that you know could be a challenge,
mhm,
let's be proactive about it
mhm,
instead of reactive, but it's also getting all of those perspectives as well.
yeah,
I don't have all the answers, and I'm not gonna pretend like I do.
right,
And so that's that trust piece too.
yeah, yeah.
And so they're the 3 things that, you know.
You and the leadership team were like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
yes,
we
yes, yes,
gotta."
yes, yeah.
Okay.
They also wanted to address holding each other accountable because we do. And I see those behaviors of like the 3 things I talked about in my very successful grade level teams.
Mm,
I have a couple grade levels that are extremely successful academically and socially, emotionally with their
Mm,
students. And it's those three pieces
okay.
that make them so
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
They hold each other accountable. They are able to listen to each other. They're like a little family within their grade level. And
Mhm.
that's what makes them successful.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. They're so tight. That's
Yes.
I love that. That's so good. So the beauty of emotional intelligence is it's developable,
Mm-hmm.
and organizational culture, which is what you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about. Like it's very it's discussed very openly
Yeah.
there. So is it's that you can it's developable, you can shape it, you can strengthen it. Um, I think what leaders who are watching or listening this to this might wonder is like, okay, that sounds great, but like, what do I do? How do I, if I want to build optimism, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or if I want to, address unacceptable behavior, people know that's important, but that means having really hard
It
conversations.
is.
Like, how would you encourage a leader that wanted to build optimism? Like, how do you do that? What do you?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's the self-awareness piece, right? You have to know who you are,
Yeah,
right? And you have to prioritize your vision. What do you eventually want? What is
yeah,
the end goal? If there is an end goal, right?
yeah,
And you have to know that that's first and foremost, right?
yeah,
And then if there is a challenge or you're seeing that there's people who are struggling, with emotional intelligence or they're struggling to regulate or they're down in the dumps or whatever the case
yeah,
may be, you have to almost say, "This is not who defines us.
yeah.
This is not our definition.
Yeah.
This is temporary." Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a
Yeah.
temporary it's like a bump, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
temporary,
yeah,
and you have to prioritize that.
yeah.
You can't let it define you. This is
Mhm,
a temporary situation. And then you have to think like, "Okay, well, if this is temporary, what do we want the end goal to be?" So
mhm,
visualizing that future. Like,
mhm,
"Okay, I want to be here. Let's come up with a plan."
mhm.
Okay?
Yeah,
Mini goals,
yeah,
prioritizing those.
yeah,
And then in that case, if you're seeing this like negativity or whatever the case may be, like being able to call that out
mhm, yeah,
and then listening.
yeah.
Okay. People need to listen. Okay. I see
Yeah,
this as a problem. When I
yeah.
first became the principal of Wickersham, I met with every single staff member.
Mm.
It didn't matter who you were,
Whoa.
okay? Whether you were the custodian, okay? Whether you were the secretary, whether
Yeah.
you were a para, whether you taught 3rd grade, it did not matter. I met with every single person
Mm.
throughout the entire summer, and I wanted to know what made Wickersham glow
Yeah,
and what was a grow,
yeah,
right? And I was
yeah.
able to develop a vision based on
Okay.
what the staff told me.
Yeah,
And then what my vision was, right? So it's like who I am as a human anyway,
yeah,
collaboration, critical thinking, like all those pieces. Okay, we did it together,
yeah,
right? And so you're able to like say like, "Okay, let's visualize this future.
yeah,
Let's say this is the vision. Let's share it together."
yeah. So you have to it sounds like you have to it's almost like you're gathering data. You gotta
Yes.
figure out what am I working with here?
Yes.
What are the ingredients? Who are the humans that are
Yes.
part of this?
Because everybody comes with
Yeah,
different pieces. Like you're not just Sarah who is defined by work wisdom,
yeah,
right? You have other attributes of who you are,
yeah,
right? And everybody
yeah.
comes with different perspectives and different things that have happened in their life that have shaped who they are,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And it does eventually dictate on how you are within a classroom, in your
yeah,
job, whatever it is that you do, it
mhm,
is going to shape who you are.
yeah,
It's gathering the data. It is. It's a
yeah,
great way to say it.
yeah, I love it. I I get a sense that the culture in your organization is and you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but that it is an optimistic place, that it is and it's like it's cohesive, like the way that a family pushes each
That's
other,
the best way
but
I'm going to
also
say.
right,
Perfect. It's perfect what you said.
okay,
Family.
yeah, and food.
Yeah, all the time. Food and family.
Yeah,
Um, I would definitely call us a family
yeah,
because families will always go to bat for each other.
they
Okay,
better.
they will always protect. They will
Yeah,
always do those things. Families will also disagree.
mhm,
They will fight and they will argue and they will not like that you have done something. But at the end of the day, they still love you. Still
yeah,
love each other.
yeah,
Like you're like, I may not like you right now, but I do love you.
yeah,
Right? That was a big thing my mom used to say. I may not like you right now, but I do love you. Okay.
okay, yeah,
But like that is how we operate.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna agree with everything that goes on. They're not gonna agree with somebody's behavior, not gonna agree with a decision, they're not gonna agree with whatever is
Yeah.
going on, but at the end of the day, we still love each other. We're
Yeah.
still the Wickersham Wildcats. We still, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And that is the best way to describe who we are. We are
Yeah.
a family,
Yeah.
hands down. And yes, there is a lot of food. Okay.
Yeah.
There's every Wednesday, there's early release days. We got very creative this year with food. My instructional coach was grilling. My husband and I have cooked for the staff. There's a lot of food and family.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the end of the year always brings, like, a lot of anxiety for students,
Mhm.
right? And so, like, then you see behaviors, and
Mhm.
then teachers are frustrated, and I understand wholeheartedly. I was a teacher, it's not like I wasn't. I knew
Mhm.
May was very challenging, okay, for a
Mhm.
lot of reasons, and I had my staff do this amazing, at least I thought it was amazing, activity where we had to go back and remember
Mhm.
that the year wasn't what it is right now, the 2nd week of May.
Yeah.
And so I had them define, like, who was their hero of the year, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
How did they know this year, where they were supposed to be? Like, how
Mhm.
did they know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be? And they had to share a funny member with a funny moment with a staff member, a funny moment with a student.
Yeah.
And then I made them move with somebody they have not talked to in a very long time, somebody that was not in their grade level, they didn't work with all the time. So you saw people talking that they don't like. The pre-K para was with, a grade level teacher, or that my secretary was with, like, the ELD department, okay?
Yeah.
And they had to go and they had to share this. And I walked around, and it's not like I was creeping on people's, like, people's conversations, because I shared mine. I
Yeah.
modeled it,
Yeah.
okay? Like,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my hero was a kindergartner.
Yeah.
Every time she sees me, she breaks down the dance, and I can dance with her, and it's like an amazing opportunity. We're like, okay. And then I shared funny moments, right?
Mm.
And and then I watched them, and you could see the family aspect. People are laughing, they're like, "Oh my god!" And
Yeah.
they're like, "I sympathize with you."
Yeah.
It warmed my heart and it filled my bucket
Yeah.
because, yes, this temporary, remember I said it's a
Yeah.
temporary setback, right? This challenging time did
Mhm.
not dictate who we are.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
You went back in time and you were like, "You know what? I just danced like a mom in 5th grade with a 5th grade teacher," because that was my moment with
Yeah.
the staff, and I danced like a mom. We mom danced, okay? And everybody was like, "What is happening in here?" Okay? But it was a great moment I had with her,
Yeah.
right? Where we
Yeah.
were able to, like, go and be, and, 5th graders, they think you're cringy, okay? So they were like, "What is happening? Why is Miss Rivera, Miss Peggy laughing like it's," and it was great. And,
Yeah.
you share those times.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. You gotta live it. You
Mhm.
gotta live it. How can leaders I don't know what you think about this, but how can leaders handle frustration caused by lower use of EI? I mean,
Mm.
especially when times are tough, it that can, you know, that can make us forget to
Mhm.
use those skills. Um, so how can leaders handle the frustration uh, caused by lower EI use on their team?
I think it's a couple things. I was gonna go back to listening,
Yeah,
right? I think
start there.
identifying what is causing it.
Yeah.
What is the challenge? What is
Mhm.
causing this to happen? And then listen to what the responses are. You may not like it,
Mhm.
but you have to be able to listen to it.
Yeah.
I think going back to that self-awareness piece helps too.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking prior to this about, um, just when times are tough, what do we do, right? How do you take care of yourself, right?
Mhm.
And I do this every Friday. I write, it's called the Wick Weekly, okay? And it's like my update, but it has, like,
Okay.
all the important things that are going
Yeah.
on, who the charter champion is. That's somebody who's gone above and beyond, to that really accentuates the Wickersham values. And the staff vote for each other. And it's like, family engagement activities coming up. It's like the catch-all newsletter.
Mm.
And I do it every Friday. Well, I do it Thursday night and it comes out Friday.
So
And
good.
I've been writing these, like, I wa I call them, like, kinda like manifestos,
Yeah.
okay, on, like, being able to take care of yourself because times are tough, right?
Mhm.
They are. It
Yeah.
is a challenging time right now in education in general.
Yeah.
And I was doing it, yes, for myself because I had to constantly remind myself, okay, like,
Yeah.
I need to be self-aware. I need to be present. I need to do stuff so that I'm my best self so that when I do come to work, I'm not frustrated and I'm not, snapping or having to, like, always regulate, regulate,
Mhm.
regulate. And I had staff. come to me and tell me the things that they were doing because
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and it was funny because one of them was she wanted to she wanted to start baking and she did a sourdough starter, right? And then I have people who are now going to the gym and I have people
Oh my
who,
gosh.
are in at craft clubs and doing all these things that are
Yeah.
benefiting themselves because A, they see me do it,
Yeah.
right? Like, they do see me do it. Like, I go to the gym, like, 3 to 4 times a week. Everybody knows that's what
Yeah.
I do. That's my time to release, but
Yeah.
also to make sure you're taking care of yourself, and then and in turn, it has them take care of themselves, and then they can be their best selves at work.
Positive
Yeah, you're
contagion.
trying,
Oh my
trying.
gosh. That's so good. That and so they just came and were like, "Hey,
So they
so."
would tell me, like it was funny, I it was one of my pre-K teachers, she was like, "Hey, so just wanna let you know, like, I really took your advice with the WIC weekly." And I was like, "Okay." And
Oh.
she's like, "And I really don't cook, but I did start, like I had started a sourdough starter, and I've been making, like, all these sourdough recipes." And I was like, "That's great, and that's wonderful." Like
It's so good.
and she's like, "And I got it from the WIC weekly." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "That's fantastic." And it was funny because I saw this Instagram reel where it was like you can tell like what age you're bracket in if you're doing the following things. And I've had people tell me that they have been doing these things, and I wanted to put it up so bad on in May. I just couldn't find the reel again. It was like protein and fitness training, like powerlifting. That's me. Okay. I am doing a lot of fitness training. It was
Okay.
like sourdough starter, craft club, and
Okay.
plants.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like those things. And I was like,
Self-care.
yeah, everybody was like, every single person has been, like,
Yeah.
doing one of those things in my building, and
Yeah.
if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So good. Um, so so thank you again for coming
Always,
and
always.
yeah, and talking about yourself and your team. I think this is gonna be really helpful for people, especially not just identifying like what an emotionally intelligent
Mhm,
team looks like, but then like how to get there. And I would say I'm gonna pull like the self-awareness that you talk about, like spending that time understanding who you are is
mhm,
really key. Um uh, and the practice of listening
mhm,
seems to be that openness
mhm.
seems to be really huge. But there's 2 other things that I'm hearing from you. One is over communicating, which is just
Yeah,
be it not in a
yeah,
bad way, it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
over communicating, like,
yeah.
you need to be present and like expressing so
Mhm,
people aren't wondering what the heck is going on. Like it's such an important part of how you're helping your team through, whenever there's a tough time, but and for yourself too. So
yeah,
I really really appreciate that. I think that that's going to be helpful for people. But it also it sounds to me like not just over communicating, but it's like action. It's like
mhm,
keep moving things forward.
mhm,
Um, this is a snapshot in time, and moving towards that vision and
mhm,
that ultimate goal is gonna keep us on track.
mhm.
So
Yep. I would agree with all of those
yeah,
things. And I think also like when you're over communicating, like but no, I seriously mean this. Like it's when you're overly communicating, which I do. Okay, I'm not afraid to say I don't know
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, like let's address it. I
Mhm,
don't know what to do yet. I'm not
mhm,
really sure. We're gonna figure it out. What are your thoughts? What are
yeah,
your ideas? And like, manage it that way.
yeah,
Because when people know that you don't know and that you're human too, I think
yeah.
that's another
That's
piece,
big. Yeah.
okay? Is like, I'm a human too,
Mhm,
okay? Like, I have my own
mhm.
there's yes, you might be Sarah, okay, but you're not, you know, work wisdom only. Like, you
Yeah,
have other things too. I think
yeah,
understanding those pieces too that I
yeah.
I also come with my own pieces as well.
Yeah. I think in again, it reinforces how, yes, AI is helpful, but it's never gonna be like the
No,
unique
not at all.
human.
Not at all. No.
Yeah, thank goodness. So,
Yeah.
alright, thank you so much for
Thank you for
coming.
having
Thank
me.
you for,
Thank you.
watching this and listening, to this. Uh, we hope you'll subscribe on YouTube or on the podcast, and you can always contact us through our website, workwisdomllc.com, and, tell us what you think and, give us ideas for other topics you wanna hear about. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.